Hi, my name is Maricela. I'm a student at UT Tyler in their Occupational Therapy Bridge program. Today we're going to focus on mental health in the community, specifically how like a student or a CODA or an OT, any OT practitioner can use blogs or be an advocate or even be involved in the AOTA. On our assignment, I specifically wanted to do a mental health podcast. And so one that I found is called Calm It Down. You can find it on Spotify or like the Heart Radio. But what this podcast is about mindfulness and anxiety. I picked this is because something that I have been personally dealing with, and I knew it would work great for any of my patients or anybody really to practice mindfulness and anxiety. A quote I want to write down on this website, which I will link it down below. And again, this is by Lawson. The podcast is called Calm It Down. So here's the quote. I'm going to read directly from the website. And again, I will link it down so you can see it. But he says, "How do we swim this ocean of life when we feel like we're constantly drowning? On my best days, I am barely dog paddling just to stay above the water." I think this is excellent because it's personally how I felt. Like sometimes I feel like I'm drowning, and I explain that exactly to my therapist. And I've just realized I'm not the only one who's felt that. And my pathway to this journey has been really just mind-blowing and eye-opening about how I'm not the only one, and I can use this in not only therapy but for my patients. So this is a really good podcast, and just those what I just read, it relates to me so much, and I know it can relate to others and help others. But so again, this podcast is specifically about mindfulness and anxiety. Lawson just used techniques to practice mindful exercises. It's just really short and consistent. Just like maybe 10 to anywhere 15 minutes podcast episodes. I'm going to go over one episode in particular. It's called Calm It Down. It's a podcast, but the actual episode is the success hangover when the finish line feels empty. This he just uploaded on June 30th. And basically it explains how sometimes when you set a goal, you don't really feel that equal fulfillment, so that enjoyment. So you make this goal and then it's there, you accomplished it, but you don't feel that achievement. So what I've learned, what I can take from this is that success isn't always a joy. You have to learn, it may be just a space for just deeper questioning. Why did I pursue this in the first place? You need to ask yourself that. And it also tells you perhaps you need to make your goals more meaningful. If you made them more meaningful, then maybe you wouldn't feel that empty feeling. A big quote that I took from this episode was, "Success doesn't define you, your peace does." So it's just how you feel. Sometimes, who cares if you fail? If you failed and you feel great, like, hey, I failed, but it's okay. I'm at peace with that. Like, I can strive harder. So it just kind of like this episode just really just lets you kind of know, like, it's okay to feel that way. And I think that this podcast is really great, and this episode specifically, and so I wanted to share that. And the website is down below, and I encourage everybody to just spend maybe 10-15 minutes of their day just listening to this, and I think it can really help their mental health.